Welcome to the Explainer. So, you're the proud new owner of a PlayStation 5. Awesome. But you've got one question. How do I get this amazing DualSense controller connected so I can actually start playing? Well, let's dive right in. First off, let's start with some great news. The whole process is designed to be incredibly simple, so you can just relax. We're going to have you up and running in no time at all. And when I say simple, I mean it. The very first method we're going to walk through, the one you use right out of the box, it works for about 95% of people without a single hiccup. Pretty good odds, right? So let's start there.
Okay, this first part is all about that guaranteed connection. This is the foolproof, can't mess it up way to get you from the box to the game in under a minute. It all starts with that USB cable.
It really is as easy as it looks on screen. You turn on the PS5, you plug in the cable, and you press that big PlayStation button. Now, the really brilliant thing about this method is how efficient it is. It's not just pairing your controller, it's actually charging it at the exact same time. Two birds, one stone. All right, player one is officially in the game. But what about when you've got friends over for game night? For player 2, 3, and 4, we're going to cut the cord and go completely wireless. So to connect another controller, you have to get it into what's called pairing mode. Think of it like the controller raising its hand and saying, "Hey, I'm over here." All you do is press and hold the PS button and that little create button together. After a few seconds, you'll see the light bar start pulsing blue. That's your signal. It's ready to be found. Okay, now grab that first controller that's already working. You're going to dive into the PS5 settings menu, find the Bluetooth accessories section, and boom, you'll see the new controller just waiting there. It's kind of like you're introducing it to the console. Just select it, assign it to a player profile, and you are all set for multiplayer. Of course, sometimes technology just has a mind of its own. So what do you do when things just aren't connecting? Don't worry, this next part is your quick fix guide for getting things back on track. So before we solve any problems, you gotta know your tools. For the DualSense controller, it really comes down to 3 key buttons. The main PS button, that little create button, and my personal favorite, the secret weapon, that tiny little reset button hidden on the back. Let's see how to use them. Okay, this is probably the most common headache you might run into. The controller seems like it's trying. That blue light is flashing away, but it just can't make that final connection, that final handshake with the console. The fix for this is surprisingly simple. Just give your PS5 a full reboot. And I mean a full shutdown, not just putting it in rest mode. Hold down that power button for about 10 seconds till it's completely off. This clears out any weird software glitches. Then, once it's back on, just go back to that trusty USB cable method to connect again. So what if you have the total opposite problem? You press the PS button and absolutely nothing happens. No lights, no vibration, just nothing. The controller seems totally dead. This is where that secret weapon we talked about comes into play. You're going to need a paper clip or maybe the end of an earring. Find that tiny pinhole on the back of the controller and press the button inside for a good 10 seconds. This does a hard reset, forcing it to forget everything and basically start fresh. After that, just connect it with the USB cable like it's brand new. A couple other common snags, maybe the controller is still loyal to your friend's console, or maybe you just have a bad cable or USB port. Are you starting to see a pattern here? The solution for both is almost always to reset and go right back to that foolproof USB cable method. It's your go-to fix for just about everything. All right, so you're connected and you know how to troubleshoot like a pro. To wrap things up, let's just run through a few quick FAQs to really help you master your DualSense controller. Let's talk vitals real quick. A 3-hour charge will get you about 12 solid hours of gameplay. Also, that light bar isn't just for looks. It actually changes color to show you if you're player 1, 2, 3, or 4. And a real pro tip, every now and then, plug it in with the USB cable and check for firmware updates in the settings. It'll keep your controller working perfectly. Now, here's the big question, especially for those of you upgrading from the last generation. Can you save a little money and use your trusty old DualShock 4 controller? So the answer is yes, but, and this is a really big but, it only works for playing your old, backwards-compatible PS4 games. For any of the new PS5 titles, you absolutely have to use the new DualSense controller to get all those cool next-gen features like the haptic feedback. So you're planning a big get-together, a big local multiplayer session. How many people can actually join in on the fun? The magic number is 4. The PS5 supports up to 4 controllers at once, which is perfect for a full squad and all those great couch co-op and party games. Ugh, this one is just the worst, right? You're in the middle of a massive boss fight, the action is intense, and all of a sudden, your connection drops. What is going on? Well, 9 times out of 10, a random disconnect just means the battery is about to die, it's just out of juice. The quickest fix is to just plug it in with that USB cable, and you can keep right on playing while it charges. And you know, that really is the main takeaway from this whole thing. If you ever run into trouble, don't overthink it. Just go back to basics. A physical cable connection is your best friend, and it almost always works. So, with all that technical stuff out of the way, the only question that really matters is the one on your screen. The adventure is waiting. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer, and happy gaming.